Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off the late pick 4 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday with Turf Sprint Stakes action. Race number 6 is the Texas Glitter Stakes. Our coverage presented by DRF Bets. Please sign up to DRF Bets. Please accept a $200 free bet. No deposit required at drf.com/join. Please use the promo code FREEBET09. Here's the field of 3-year-old turf sprinters getting ready to contest the Texas Glitter Stakes. We were expecting a field of 8. Todd Pletcher has 2 in here, Mike. We'll begin with the morning line favorite, Javier Castellano, aboard the 2 Barbarossa. This is a New York bred that has run well in all 3 turf starts. Are you concerned that 5's a little short for him?
I'm a little concerned about it. I'm not so sure that I don't really actually like him cutting back out of that 2-turn race last time. I think he might actually be better going shorter, but 5 might be actually a little short for him. I thought he ran pretty well last time, though, considering he came around the outside. The winner got right through on the rail, and I like the way this horse finished up after him. His 2 sprint starts in New York last year, they were both good. I actually think this horse has some ability, and I totally get him as the morning line favorite.
Boy, I loved his race 2 starts back 0-7 at Belmont. He destroyed that field. He was even money. He was supposed to win. He won like an even money shot should. And the key to this race is just hopefully they don't run completely away from him and he has enough time in the stretch because he does have a strong kick.
Yeah.
The good news is his uncoupled stablemate Salmanazar, he's got big early speed and maybe he could help set things up just a little bit, if not outright win it. Here's a Todd Pletcher formulator. In fact, you usually don't think of Todd with these kind of horses. A very limited positive sample size. Past 3 years, 3-year-olds moving from dirt to turf sprints off a long layoff. He's winning at 30%. This horse looked good winning his career debut at Keeneland over a pretty nice horse in Copper Bullet. Something must have happened to the Tremont.
I got to just believe something went wrong in the Tremont because he was just too bad to be believed as a heavy favorite. His debut was great. He ran really, really well first time out and makes you think he has a lot of ability. But it also makes me think, how good a sign can it be that he returns sprinting on the grass off of this kind of a long layoff? I just don't think it's a positive move for a horse like him who looked so good winning first time out. And you know me, Dan, I hate the fact that Pletcher worked him on the grass already. I feel like if Pletcher just thought he was a turf horse, he wouldn't have worked him on, he'd just run him on it. We'll see what happens with him. He obviously has talent, but I would never bet him in.
Not a ton of turf pedigree either. No. Shackelford, about 8% winners from first-time turf runners. The Dams have to a grade 3-place turf router named Foster's Landing. Salmanazar showed big speed in both starts at 2, but the Timeform U.S. pace projector means he better hustle to get out of there because Shang Royal, the 4, and especially the 6 Reed Can, these horses show speed, so Salmanazar's got to hustle from that inside post. Let's talk a little bit about Shang Royal, the 4. This is a horse like Salmanazar trying turf for the first time. He at least has got a little bit of turf pedigree. He's a half to Cali 37, a multiple stakes winner on turf at Gulfstream.
Yeah, and he's a Shanghai Bobby, and those horses, have been really running on turf since he's put some horses on the track. I think this is a super dangerous horse in this race. I picked Barbarossa on top because I like his turf form, and he already has the established turf form, but I'm afraid of this horse, and I'm using this horse. This horse's win at Belmont last summer was a giant effort. That was a wicked fast pace. He got hooked into a duel right away with a Pletcher firster who they made 3-5 and came back to win his next start, and he buried that horse and kept going in the stretch. That was a huge effort. I don't know where he's been since then. I don't love that he didn't run again after that race, but he's bred for turf and he's fast, and I think he's good, and I'm using him in this race.
Reed Can, the number 6, has already done well. He's only raced once in a turf sprint at Gulfstream, and he popped a big 88 Beyer speed figure. He showed good speed that day. He bolted pretty badly under a left-handed whip in mid-stretch. He was clear enough to hold off Bourbon Currency, who we'll get to in a minute. But I have to be honest, I don't think you can afford those kind of shenanigans against this kind of field.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if he can even make the lead in this race. And I know he's a fast horse.
That 4 is a fast horse.
Yeah, that 4 is fast. A Pletcher horse on the rail is fast if he can still run. So we'll see what happens with this horse. I know that race 2-back got a fast figure too, Dan, but when I go back and look at it, I don't know how much I believe that figure. I want to see this horse do it again, especially against a field like this.
I like Bourbon Currency's turf debut at 6 furlongs at Belmont. The Awad was probably just a little bit too far going a mile, and last time out against Reed Can, this horse ran okay. If there is a bit of a barbecue up front, I think this horse has enough speed to stay within range, which is questionable with Barbarossa. He might get the jump on Barbarossa turning into the stretch, and as you can see by the morning line, he's a better price.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, this is the kind of horse who could really get a nice trip in this race, and that can go a long way in a race like this. He handles turf just fine. Does he have to improve a little bit to beat a field like this? I don't know. Maybe he does, but it's not like that's totally out of the realm of possibility. This horse is pretty good.
Of the pedigrees of the three horses trying turf for the first time, I like Wildcat's Legacy's pedigree for turf the best. I really like those Wildcat heirs as turf sprinters. He wins 11% with first-time turf runners, and this is a full brother to Red Minx, who is a fast stakes place turf sprinter. First two starts on dirt were okay. That Tricks to Do ran a hole in the wind in the inaugural. Wildcat's Legacy maybe has found a home on the grass.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard on him for that last race. His first two starts, they were both good, and as you point out, this horse is really bred to handle the turf. He's another one of those horses, probably a very square price in this race, and not a horse to take lightly in here at all.
Clouded Judgment outside for Mid-Atlantic-based connections. A winner last time out, a 64 buyer. He's got to build on that.
Yeah, like to see that he, enters this race with a win sprinting on the grass, but he's got to improve.
Dial won 2 races on turf. They're both good. He's a fairly consistent horse, but another horse that needs a buyer boost.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just some kind of huge price in this race. His turf debut, I know he was a member of the Pletcher barn at that time, but he actually ran really well, winning in his career debut over this turf course at this distance. I think that's probably the best race he ever ran for Pletcher. Probably not a great sign that they dumped him right in for 16, though. He ran okay last time, but he's going to have to do better than that.
Top picks for the Texas Glitter. First leg of the late pick 4. We both like Barbarossa. I think we would be certainly using Barbarossa as an A and any kind of pick 4 wager. I know you like Shang Royal, especially at 12-1 on the morning line as well. You'd go 2-4 in a single race, but you use Shang Royal in the pick.
I'll use them both in the pick, and we'll see how they wind up betting the race. If Barbarossa goes off too short a price, I could bet a few bucks on Shang Royal in here.
2-4 for Mike, 2-6-7-5 for me in the $75,000 Texas Glitter Stakes, kicking off the late pick 4 at Gulfstream on Saturday. If you're playing that pick 4 sequence, please do so with DRF bets. Please do so with your $200 free bet. No deposit required. DRF.com/join. Promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for the Texas Glitter, 2:30 Eastern. Best of luck.